Man United are what they are at this time with the players they've got. They're hot and cold. This is the worst return I've had in terms of points in the history of the Premier League. So that tells you everything.
But they have got Paul Pogba back. If you were in that United squad, Ashley, would you be welcoming back a player of this calibre?
Yeah, obviously he's just come back from an injury, but yeah, he's got the quality. I feel in that Man United squad or team, they don't have the players in midfield who create and he creates. So they do miss him, but whether he's, I don't mean his head's in it but he's been out for a long time and they need him back. So yeah, I think as players, you want your best players playing, and he's definitely one of Man United's best players. So it's a big ask for him to step up after coming back from a long injury to now kind of, for me, pull this team together. But they need him. For me, they certainly need him.
Is that where the creativity is going to come from, Gary? Because you have talked about that as being a missing ingredient. Is it from Pogba, or is it the likes of Mason Greenwood, who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said is getting much harder to leave out?
Yeah, I thought he might have played him today in terms of whether it be Martial or probably James. Could be left out. I think he's getting to that point now where he's knocking on the door very hard, but very young. Obviously, he's bleeding him into the team like you would like to do with a younger player, but he's got such composure in front of goal for someone so young. He looks fantastic, and locally in Manchester they talk about him as highly as they do Marcus Rashford, so that's high praise with what Marcus Rashford's done. So yeah, and I think for Paul Pogba it's just a case of understanding whether, we know he'll score goals, we know he'll get assists, but every single week, whether it be us or whether it be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer having to field questions about him, he needs to either settle down at the club or he needs to leave.
But do you think this team has developed without him?
Well, it's developed without him. The most important thing is, I said that last year that Manchester United needed players that wanted to be at the club. His agent has spoken again this week, and I think for me with Paul Pogba, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is playing a clever game at this moment in time, or he desperately wants him to stay, because if he was to come out and say no, Paul Pogba's future isn't at Manchester United, it would depreciate the price heavily. So I think at the moment he's saying no, he won't be sold, his future's at the club. But I can't believe there isn't something going on behind the scenes when you hear his agent's comments this week. And every inkling I get from the situation is that he does want to play football somewhere else. So my view would be that ultimately Manchester United are better off without that if that's the case.
You think there'll be a queue around the block for him?
No, I don't think there will be, because of the fact Manchester United will want a significant price, a significant amount of money.
Forget that in terms of what he's given Man United.
No, I think there will be, because you saw there he scored, I think, 25 goals, 1 in 4 from central midfield. I think he gets assists. I think ultimately he is a player. He's Manchester United's best player, but ultimately does he want to play in Manchester? Let's see.